Hey, are you struggling with your finances but still want to ride your dirt bike? I want to show you 5 simple tips that I've used over the years so that you can still ride if you're on a tight budget. Tip number 1 is buy used. Even if you have the money, especially if it's your first dirt bike, you do not want to buy a new one because, for one, it's going to get scratched anyway. I mean, you're going to fall over, even if it's not a big crash, it's just going to get scratched up and break something. Ah, that is not good. You're probably not going to keep the bike for years anyway. You're going to want to upgrade. So buy used. You can save thousands. You can still get a nice used dirt bike for under 2,000 bucks in most places, sometimes less than that. Tip number 2 is buy reliable. That usually means not a high performance bike. So motocross bikes, enduro bikes are really old, and this also includes bikes that are not maintained properly. So how do you know if it's maintained properly? So, well, there's a lot of different things that you need to look for when you go look at a used bike that I cover in a different video, but you want to make sure that it was, 1, had the oil changed regularly, 2, the air filter has been cleaned regularly, and 3, you can kind of get an idea just looking at a bike if it's been maintained. If it's super dirty, if there's pieces, bolts missing, it probably wasn't maintained very well. Tip number 3 is buy similar bikes. So whether you're buying more than one for yourself, or if you have a family, buying a similar line of like Honda XRs or Yamaha TTRs. Why? Because they'll have similar parts and you'll be able to work on them more easily. So like if you're working on a high performance KTM 4-stroke motocross bike compared to a low performance Kawasaki 2-stroke, working on them, it's going to take a totally different approach and mindset, and you'll have to like relearn how to work on everything. Hey! Tip number 4 is wait for closeouts. You gotta have the right gear. You want to have a good helmet and good boots, but you don't need the latest and greatest, the flashiest stuff, even though it's cool to look good in front of all your friends. But looking good doesn't mean you're going to be safe, and it doesn't mean you're going to save money. So what I do, wait for closeouts. If you're going to buy new, wait for something for the next year, or as in buy previous year's gear, or even if it's like several years old, if it's discontinued. If it's still new, it hasn't been used, and it's still good stuff, but you can get it for a fraction of the price. That's how I've saved a lot of money. You can save 100 bucks on a pair of riding pants, or 300 bucks on a helmet because it's 2 years old, but it's still brand new. And then the 5th tip is learn to work on your own dirt bike. So I'm not against anyone that wrenches on bikes as a mechanic for dirt biking, but for this video purpose, you want to save money, so learn to work on your own dirt bike. How do you do that? You buy an OEM service manual and you read it. It's not that hard. Especially the maintenance, changing oil, doing the air filter, adjusting the chain, lubing it, simple maintenance like that is really easy on pretty much every bike if you follow the instructions, and once you do it a couple times, it's not that bad. The more complicated stuff like rebuilding an engine and suspension, yeah, you might want to take it to someone until you get the confidence to do it yourself. So, if you want to learn more on how to save money, work on your dirt bike, or become a better rider, go to Motocross Hideout. This is Kelly Fager. Learn more, ride more. Yeah, What's your favorite tip?